show. In the zone, here I go. In the zone, here I go. In the zone, here I go. Yeah, they know I'm a pro. Let's go, let's go. Let's go. If I go, I'ma get. When I flow, I'ma hit. And I know I'm the kid. I'm a soul, don't forget. I'ma blow up winning. Got my flow so vivid. Here we go, just beginning. Yeah, I throw every inning. Got my flow so legit. All I know is my shit. Here I go, they can whip. Post Malone in this bitch. Rockstar making hits. Got guitar in this shit. Leaving scars cause we lit. All these bars that I spit. Yeah. Let's go, let's go! Let's go! If I know what I want, then I know what I get. If I go, they can whip, cause they know I get lit. I'm a pro, not a myth, and my flow got some wit. Never slow, drink a fit. I get hype, I get lit. Here I go, I get lit. Here I go, I get lit. Here I go, I get lit. I get hype for this shit. Here I go, I get lit. Here I go, I get lit. Here I go, I get lit. I get hype for this shit. That's right. I stay loose, I stay hype. I stay loose, I stay hype. I stay loose, I stay hype. I could do this all night, cause I do what I like. Yeah, I do what I like. Yeah, I do what I like. Sipping goose, sip is right. And I go with the flow. Yeah, I go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Live Dive, the Angle Podcast Live Dive, where we jump into everything that we just witnessed on Monday Night Raw. I'm your host, Joey Karni, host of the Angle Podcast. Like always, welcome to the show. And we're going to be talking about everything we just witnessed on Monday Night Raw. Now, for those who are just tuning in for the first time, this is a show that actually just started last week, live on YouTube every week after Monday Night Raw, where we dive into, like I just said, everything we just saw on Monday Night Raw. As you can see on my right, maybe your left, I kind of like to post pictures of the main things that we saw on Monday Night Raw, kind of topics that we're going to cover, just so if you're watching this show and you didn't get to check out Monday Night Raw, you have some reference or some physical something to look at as we talk, so you kind of understand what I'm talking about. A lot of things happened tonight on Monday Night Raw, a lot of exciting things, might I add. A lot of people might not agree with that. Just my opinion. A lot of fun things. We started right off the bat with the return of the prodigal son, Shane O'Mac. Shane McMahon returned to Monday Night Raw to help Adam Pearce, the WWE authority, a figure, WWE official, announce the main event for WWE Elimination Chamber, which will be, I believe, February 21st, a week from Sunday. Which is very strange because a lot of pay-per-views, a lot of big events happening like in this short period of time. But nonetheless, the main event for WWE Elimination Chamber, as you can see on the screen here, will be an Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre will be defending his title, might I add, against only former World Heavyweight Champions. Hold on, this lighting is just really bright here. Okay. So only former world champions were allowed to compete in this match, as Adam Pearce said on Raw. And those champions are as follows: Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Mr. Money in the Bank himself, The Miz. Huge main event planned. Like I said, all former world champions. And I'm excited for this match just because I can see every one of those guys, besides Jeff Hardy, walking away with the title. We've seen Sheamus stake his claim over the last few weeks, turning on his friend last week, his friend of 20 years, Drew McIntyre, turning on him last week with a bro kick. And as we saw Monday Night Raw, I will get back into that later as we go along the show. But basically, Sheamus interfering with Drew McIntyre once again. Randy Orton, another competitor who was the only person to take the WWE title off of Drew McIntyre in 2020, now getting another shot, being involved in a lot of different storylines as of late. And again, I will get back into Randy Orton as we further into the show. AJ Styles, someone who has been a great WWE champion multiple times in his WWE career over the last 5 or so years. Yeah, all these people I can see. And The Miz being Mr. Money in the Bank. So even if we don't want him to be WWE champion, well, that's on his terms because he holds the briefcase. But anyways, huge main event announced for WWE Elimination Chamber. Kind of awkward way of bringing Shane in. He didn't really know how to flow well. He didn't flow well with Adam Pearce. It was a little strange, but that's fine. They announced the main event. And he said he's doing a good job. Pat him on the back. Walked out, and then we had the match to start off the night. Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles, where we saw Jeff Hardy kind of hurt his knee somewhere in the match. Ultimately led to AJ Styles hitting a calf crusher multiple times, but the final time making Jeff Hardy tap out for that huge win going into Elimination Chamber. We then saw the New Day, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston go in a tag team match against Retribution. I believe it was Slapjack and T-Bar. We had Mustafa Ali on commentary, which, by the way, was phenomenal. He was just running down WWE, basically saying how, he's surprised they allowed him to hold a microphone or get onto a microphone, and how the company is just selfish and this, that, the other thing, and corrupt, running down everybody he possibly could have. It was really incredible. But then again, Retribution taking a clean loss, might I add, to the New Day. Now, I did tweet a little bit about it during Monday Night Raw. Retribution at this point is a joke. I mean, their only wins have really been over, Xavier Woods and Ricochet? I mean, they're wins, but are they anything to boast about? I don't think so. I don't think Retribution has done anything significant. The most significant thing that's happened with Retribution is Mustafa Ali joining them as their leader, and since then has done absolutely nothing. If you want to build this up, build something with Kofi Kingston. Someone tweeted to me during Raw there was a rumor that Nexus might reunite and face Retribution at WrestleMania. I don't know if that's true. I don't know where. I haven't read that anywhere. But if it is, that'd be kind of great. I predicted on my Royal Rumble show that maybe John Cena enters the Royal Rumble, Mustafa Ali gets involved with Cena, Retribution attacks Cena, costs him the match, and then we get Mustafa Ali with Retribution against John Cena at WrestleMania. That would be a great way to get Mustafa Ali and Retribution over. Didn't see any of that. Mustafa Ali was eliminated very early on, in no significant shape or form, anything. It was just, I don't know. I'm not really sure what they're doing with him. He could be a star. He's great on the mic. He's great in the ring. This guy is just a star. He was in line to be in a WWE Championship match at WrestleMania before he was injured, and that's when Kofi Mania happened, obviously. But I'm confused as to what they're doing. They look stupid. They look ridiculous. I'm a fan of Mustafa Ali, obviously. I'm a fan of Mia Yim. I'm a fan of Dominik Dijakovic, who is T-Bar, by the way. If you don't know, now you know. T-Bar, or as what people call him, T-Bag, is Dominik Dijakovic. I wish they would have him or make him back to Dominik Dijakovic because he was one of my favorite NXT superstars. So I'm not really sure why they're doing this with him. But whatever. Mustafa Ali was great on commentary. New Day picking him to win over Retribution. Another loss for Retribution. Not sure what's next for them. One of my favorite parts of the night was exactly this that I'm about to talk about right now, and a lot of people kind of scolded what they saw. I'm not really sure why, but we had Ric Flair and Lacey Evans in the ring, kind of just talking about their current situation with Charlotte. And I'm glad that they had this time to do this, because it's more context as to why this whole thing with Charlotte is happening. There was, Lacey Evans is the girlfriend of Ric Flair, or she's sleeping with Ric Flair to get, to the top, and all this nonsense. And, even I compared it to a storyline back in the day with Tori Wilson, Dawn Marie, and Tori's dad. And from what we heard tonight, that is not the case. Lacey Evans is interested in, she respects Ric Flair, and he's the greatest of all time, and blah, blah, blah. And he's managing her to help her get to the top to become the next Raw Women's Champion. So we did get some context into that. Charlotte Flair obviously coming out. And I think Bully Ray tweeted about it also. This was a great opportunity for Charlotte Flair to get sympathy with the crowd. And if you look at this story on paper, you are sympathetic, or you are empathetic to her, that her dad has turned on her and, just treating her this way for someone else. But she really stood her ground in the ring, and she kind of just made it seem like she's okay without him, and she's not really affected as to what is happening, which is kind of a little confusing, because anyone else would be, at least affected by this whatsoever if there was their father on the opposing side of them with their rival. But I'm loving this storyline. I think it's a great way to kind of lower Charlotte Flair back down to a normal level, not where she's like a John Cena type figure, where like she's only in title matches and can't lose. I think this is a great way to, in a sense, humanize her to the WWE roster. Lacey Evans, I think this is probably the best direction that she's had in a long, long time. She had a great run on SmackDown, I thought, as a babyface. That didn't end up anywhere besides losses to, Bayley and Sasha last year, or the year before. I think it was 2019 into 2020. But I'm excited to see where this goes. I think Lacey Evans has a bright future in WWE. She's definitely 110% a future women's champion on whatever brand that she's on. Being in line with Ric Flair is really a great rub for her. And being able to work with Charlotte Flair. I mean, if you look for like a few weeks ago, and a lot of fans were complaining about how they're not happy with this current Lacey Evans storyline. And I'm thinking to myself, and I actually tweeted it out during Raw, I'm like, how could you not be happy with this? A few weeks ago, she was like some sort of unofficial / official team with Peyton Royce, barely featured on Monday Night Raw, was added to the Survivor Series team like last second. Like she wasn't doing anything. Coming from being traded from SmackDown, being in SmackDown women's title matches against Bayley and main eventing, and then doing absolutely nothing and just being thrown into this tag team with someone who just came out of a tag team. None of it made sense. She was barely on Raw. So I think this is a positive for Lacy. Just speaking of what she just came from. So if you're not happy with this, just look at where she came from, and it's in your face there. I mean, she's obviously in a better position than she was before. And if you could look in the graphic on the side, there's a quote that says, "Watch this," and that was a quote that we saw that actually gave me goosebumps when we were watching Monday Night Raw, when Lacey Evans was kind of setting up Charlotte Flair for the figure four, should I say. Didn't happen, and then Charlotte Flair kind of beat down Lacy. She walked to the ropes and looked at her dad, and she said, "Watch this," and then she went and destroyed Lacey Evans in the corner, getting herself disqualified from the 5 count from the referee, and just beat the holy hell out of Lacey Evans and walked out. And I thought that was just such a significant position, because normally anybody who is paired with Ric Flair, you're like, wow, like they're going to the top, and his own daughter just stepped over him basically and just destroyed her, walked out, and was just like, watch this, and it was just very, very significant. Like I said, I got goosebumps. So great storytelling. By the way, great promo from Ric Flair. Ric Flair still having one of the greatest promos on the show. I mean, it was just second to none. So great job from Ric Flair. even Lacey Evans, Charlotte Flair. Overall, I'm really happy with where this storyline is going. And from where um, it's looking to a Raw Women's Championship match between these superstars and others. This segment actually led to a match between Charlotte, like I just said, Charlotte and Lacey Evans. Charlotte getting herself disqualified, ultimately getting a win for Lacey Evans, which, by the way, for those of you who didn't watch Raw or who did and just didn't catch it, the stipulation was the unofficial stipulation, because it wasn't announced anywhere on screen, but they said it. If Lacey Evans can beat Charlotte Flair, she's next in line for Asuka. And technically, from a DQ win, Lacey Evans did beat Charlotte Flair tonight on Raw. And now it's already been announced. It's official for WWE Elimination Chamber February 21st on the WWE Network, soon to be Peacock. Lacey Evans will challenge Asuka for the Raw Women's title. It's been announced. It's official. Hate on it all you want. It is what it is. So this storyline obviously leading somewhere. Maybe we see Lacey Evans pick up the Raw title at Raw Women's Championship and she defends it against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Who knows? A lot of people are predicting that. We'll just have to wait and see. We got an update from the Rated R Superstar, from number 1 to the 1 at the Royal Rumble. He went in at number 1, won the whole damn thing. 47 years old. He is the 2021 Royal Rumble winner for the men's match. Edge, the Rated R Superstar, and just kind of, manipulating all 3 world champions across the board, going to each show last week and kind of staking his claim as to why he could possibly challenge them for their world title. Tonight he gave us an update. He said he was kind of ready to make his decision, and then Drew McIntyre was announced for the Elimination Chamber. So he also announced tonight that he will be making his decision on who he'll be facing at WrestleMania after Elimination Chamber ends, because he wants to see who's going to walk out as WWE Champion. From that being said, I did think before that he was going to be challenging Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, but from what we saw tonight, it kind of looks like he said he was like waiting. He was ready to make his decision, and then Drew was announced for this match. So maybe he was going to choose Drew McIntyre, and now the main event of Elimination Chamber is going to be this match. So maybe after that match, Edge comes out and challenges the winner, which will most likely be Drew McIntyre, or maybe even Randy Orton, and then they can continue their feud at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Who knows? Because I think it was penciled in months ago, or even before Edge got hurt last year, that Edge and Randy Orton would be competing for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 37. So that could be an option. I'm not really sure where they're going with that, but either way, I'd be happy with Edge versus Randy Orton for the WWE title, Edge versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE title, Edge versus Finn Balor for the NXT World title, or Edge versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Either way, I'm excited to see the Rated R Superstar at WrestleMania competing for a world title and hopefully winning it. There was a segment, during this segment, Miz, Morrison, and strangely enough, Angel Garza came out to the ring, interrupted Edge, and Edge cut such a good promo, man. I can't even like, and it kind of makes me think like how spoiled we were back in the day with all these great promos, like we saw Ric Flair, like a legend in the ring, give such a good promo early in the night. Then we see Edge, another WWE Hall of Famer legend, and a impeccable promo. Kind of makes me think that like today's generation is just, they're not as great on the mic. I mean, like, other than Roman Reigns, like, that promo from Edge was just incredible. Like, he talked about how he was the ultimate opportunist, and how it was kind of stupid of Miz to come out and kind of tell him what he was going to do. And he said something that was very, very, and I have to see if I can pull it up here, because normally and I actually get crap for this all the time, but normally when there's like a significant phrase said on Monday Night Raw, I quote it and I tweet it out. And Edge said something to The Miz that really like stuck with me, and I was like, wow, like, he is the ultimate opportunist, but he is also a word wizard, like. And he said, you're content with being awesome. Because Miz's thing is, I'm awesome. I'm awesome. You're content with being awesome. I'm not. I did that 20 years ago. And that's kind of making reference to his time with Christian. And then referencing his WWE Network show, the Awesomest, whatever show they did, and his, time with, basically his time with Christian. Just utilizing that word awesome, just tying a nice ribbon around it and making it like mean something. Like Miz has been saying for years now, he's awesome, and Edge just really just like, I don't know, he just sealed the deal and just made it mean something just in that promo. It was really, really, like I said, impeccable to see that storyline or that promo. And then he ended up saying that I'm going to see this story through and I'm going to win the world title, and just dropped the mic and walked out. And then we had Damian Priest versus Angel Garza, which, by the way, Bad Bunny was again involved in that match. And a lot of people have crap to say about Bad Bunny, and I'm just gonna make a statement about it here, and I'm sure I'll get crap for it too, just like I did when I said it on Twitter. I don't really care. As a wrestling influencer, sort of say, podcaster, whatever you want to call me, it is my duty to give the proper information. And if I give my opinion, that's one thing. But I'm not gonna give an opinion. I'm not gonna give my opinion in a way where it's just very, very one-sided and biased, because that is just not who I am. You've seen me on other people's podcasts, in my interviews. I'm not that person. And you have to pull yourself back from this and look at the overall big picture. Bad Bunny was the top artist of 2020. Any genre, any song, pick anything, Bad Bunny topped the charts in 2020. He is now, for 3 times already, this is the second or third week already, showing up in a WWE ring, at the Performance Center in Orlando, training for some sort of in-ring something, whatever it is. He is bringing, and I don't care what you say, he's bringing mainstream eyes, people who are not fans of pro wrestling, but they see Bad Bunny, the top artist of 2020, tweeting on Twitter, posting pictures on Instagram, that he's doing all this cool shit with the WWE. WWE has a huge Latin audience. Stephanie McMahon said that on the quarterly earnings call last week. I was on that call. I heard it. She said it. By the way, being 40% away, 47%, missing their goal from 47%. Stocks are hurting right now. I'm a shareholder, so these last couple days have been ouch for the WWE. Besides the point. On that call, she said WWE has a huge Latin audience, and Bad Bunny coming in is really a significant thing for the WWE and their Latin audience. And a lot of people on Twitter who are Spanish or Latin are getting behind at least some of my tweets that I've been putting out about Bad Bunny, because it means something to them. It's important to them. It's significant because they're seeing someone like them featured on a show that they love to watch. So this is, I think, a great move from WWE. You might not like Bad Bunny. You might not be familiar. And this is the thing, too. A lot of people who are hating on Bad Bunny right now for being in WWE are hating on him because they don't know who he is or they don't know his music. And that is the most ignorant thing you can possibly do. We're in 2021. Get a clue. Come on, people. You don't like Bad Bunny because you don't know who he is. You don't like his style of music. You don't listen to that. That's ridiculous. He's the top artist of 2020. He is a mainstream artist. He's bringing mainstream eyes from other places into the WWE. This is a good thing for WWE. This is a good thing for wrestling fans. And this is going to be a big thing for WrestleMania, because that's another thing. We have to think that WrestleMania is coming up, the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. The Weeknd is not a football player, but he performed at the Super Bowl halftime show, the Pepsi halftime show at the Super Bowl yesterday. Are people mad because he's not a football player? A football player should be performing at Super Bowl. No, because that's to bring other eyes into the Super Bowl, which it does, by the way. Whole point of the halftime show. Bad Bunny and WWE doing the exact same thing. So those hating on Bad Bunny, open your eyes because you've seen a lot more of him. If you don't like him because you don't know who he is or you don't know his style of music, ignorance. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Bad Bunny, and as you can see from the picture I posted here, Bunny is money. Bad Bunny is money, and that's the bottom line because the Angle Podcast says so. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is what it is. So yeah, we had the match. Damian Priest, Angel Garza. Damian Priest, by the way, give me a gut feeling that he's going to be the next big thing in WWE, man. This guy is just, we know he's a Triple H guy. We saw him get the rub from Edge last week. A lot of people were saying that he's going to become a joke because of what he's been doing since his debut, being aligned with Bad Bunny. I don't think so. I think that's just to help I think it's to help the idea of a Puerto Rican Latin artist coming to Raw, and Damian Priest is Puerto Rican as well. So they put them together to kind of like, do something for the Latin audience, to introduce Damian Priest to the Latin audience because they want to make him a big star. Again, that goes along the lines of Bad Bunny being money. It is what it is. So Damian Priest getting a win over Angel Garza. By the way, I'm excited. I'm happy to see Angel Garza back on Monday Night Raw. He's been on since tagging with Andrade many months ago, competing for the Raw Tag Team Championship 150,000 times in the year of 2020. Just disappeared, broke up the tag team, disappeared, and has been on main event ever since. Glad to see him back, but he took a loss to Damian Priest. Damian Priest, his finisher is kind of like Crossroads, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Damian Priest getting a huge win over Angel Garza, and another great segment with Bad Bunny. Match of the night. Oh my gosh, Keith Lee versus Matt, or should I say Riddle. Keith Lee, I think we saw a different Keith Lee tonight. We did. Happy to have him back. I don't know if he tested positive for COVID or whatnot. We know Mia Yim did. Reckoning, should I say. She's out for the time being. He's back. Wasn't in the Royal Rumble. This is his first time back since before the Rumble. And we saw a different style of Keith Lee in the ring. He looked like he was acting more as the big guy. Or not the big guy, that's Ryback. The big man in the ring. And we know that Vince had some issues with Keith Lee, sent him down to the Performance Center to train, whatnot, whatever the hell that was. If that was true or if it was not true. I think Otis confirmed that with Ryan Satin a few weeks ago. But besides the point, a different style of Keith Lee, making him seem like the big man in the ring, throwing Riddle around, loud chops, making big grunts, and just looking like a big guy, a big man in the ring. Great match, getting a win over Riddle. Another loss for Riddle, man. I don't know what they're doing, but it is what it is. Kind of entering Keith Lee into that storyline with Bobby Lashley for the U.S. title, as we can see. Great match, probably my match of the night. Keith Lee getting a huge win over Riddle, and then we see Bobby Lashley come out and dominate everyone, as you can see from the picture on the side of the screen. Domination by Bobby Lashley, attacked both men from behind, threw and slammed down Keith Lee. And I tweeted, I was trying to be funny, but it just wasn't funny. He dropped Keith Lee like a Bad Bunny top single or something. I tweeted like that. It was just stupid. I don't know. But yeah, he dropped him with one hand, dropped him like a cruiserweight, and it was amazing. Bobby Lashley being booked as probably the strongest champion in WWE next to Roman Reigns, and that's a big rub there. And this could possibly be setting up for something at WrestleMania or after WrestleMania, because he's been getting booked like this for quite some time, holding that United States Championship hostage. And I don't know. Maybe it's Brock Lesnar. Maybe it's Goldberg. WrestleMania, SummerSlam, who knows? A lot of great things in store for Bobby Lashley, with or without the Hurt Business. And that just should say enough that this guy is domination. A lot of things to expect from Bobby Lashley. hopefully in 2021, but for a long time after that. We're going to just pass right over it. I thought it was going to be a significant part of the show. It really wasn't. Nia Jax came out with Shayna Baszler. Nia Jax versus Lana in a tables match. It ended exactly how we thought it would. Lana pushed Nia Jax to a table, getting the win. And then we got another match after that. Officially now, Lana is in a tag team with Naomi. Naomi is back. She returned at the Royal Rumble, number 2 in the match. Looked like she was going to be coming back to something huge. If this is what you call huge, then it is what it is. But teaming with Lana, she had another match. So it was Lana defeating Nia Jax in tables match. After that, went to commercial, came back. It was Naomi versus Shayna Baszler. Naomi getting a roll-up win over Shayna Baszler. Those two have a title shot in the near future, as they earned last week on Monday Night Raw. A lot of people, by the way, not featured tonight. Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Dana Brooke, Alexa Bliss, The Fiend. Just a lot of different characters, but that's okay. Main event of the night, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. Every time we see this huge kind of main event, like we did last week with Edge and Orton, I'm thinking to myself, we're going to get such Raw. They're giving us such a great, main event. And it always ends up being some screwy finish. And bingo, that's what we got tonight. Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre was a non-title match. It was getting good, and all of a sudden, Sheamus interfered, hit a brogue on Randy Orton because Drew got out of the way. Ended with Drew holding the title, and he got a disqualification win. Like always on Raw, a bunch of disqualification wins. If you haven't noticed, I talk really, really fast, and I need to drink water, because if not, I'll fall over and possibly pass out. A lot of DQ wins on Raw, always. I thought this was going to be something with Alexa or The Fiend. Didn't get any of that this week, which is okay. Randy Orton really being thrown around different storylines. He's in a storyline with The Fiend. He's in a storyline with Alexa Bliss. He's in a storyline with Edge. He's in a storyline with Drew McIntyre. And every week it's just something new. This guy was had the fire thrown in his face, and a week later, he came back with a mask, and then he came back with a nice haircut and no burns. It was just, I don't know what's going on with Randy Orton. It feels like they're just rushing everything that's happening with him. But overall, I really did enjoy tonight's Monday Night Raw. We have 3 huge matches announced for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, which is a week from Sunday, February 21st. Like you see it on the screen here. The main event will be an Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre will be defending against Sheamus, Mr. Money in the Bank, The Miz, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and Jeff Hardy. Only former world champions are allowed to compete in that match. Main event of Elimination Chamber. We have the Raw Women's Championship. Asuka will be defending her Raw Women's Championship against Lacey Evans. Lacey defeated Charlotte Flair tonight by DQ. It doesn't matter. Whatever she had to do to get the win to earn a shot at Asuka, she did just that. Asuka versus Lacey Evans for the Raw Women's Championship at Elimination Chamber. A match announced later on, maybe before the main event, a triple threat match for the United States title has been announced for Elimination Chamber. It will be Bobby Lashley, the reigning defending United States champion, will defend his U.S. title against both Keith Lee and Riddle. 3 huge matches. That triple threat match I thought would be for WrestleMania. Who knows where they're going with it, but I'm excited for all 3 of these matches. Monday Night Raw was, in my opinion, a great show tonight. A lot of, no pun intended, but deep diving into a lot of different storylines. We went further into Lacy and Charlotte and Ric Flair. We went deeper into Bad Bunny being involved with WWE. We went deeper into Edge's decision going to the main event of WrestleMania. A lot of stuff just happening with Lana and Nia. Overall, like I said, great episode of Monday Night Raw. I had fun watching it tonight, and it was just an overall, like I said, great episode. Now, this week from the Angle Podcast, you can expect a lot of great content. Like always, I'll be releasing my next interview this week with the interview queen, Alicia Atut. We talked about all different things that go into being a podcaster, doing interviews, starting a show, and being successful at it. Also, a lot to do with her drama with current MLW producer Selena De La Renta. A lot of stuff going down in an interview. Check that out later this week, right here on the Angle Podcast on YouTube. I will be premiering a new show this Friday after SmackDown. Get Smacked, where we're going to be smacking you with some knowledge and expert analysis as to what we saw and witnessed on Friday Night SmackDown. I will also be doing a live pre and post show this Sunday, Valentine's Day. We're going to scratch that out. It's not Valentine's Day for wrestling fans. It's NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. Yes, NXT is bringing back another classic pay-per-view, Vengeance, naming it Vengeance Day. That's going to be going down February 14th. Like I said, pre-show before the show and post-show after, all live right here on YouTube. If you haven't already, like and subscribe down below, youtube.com/The Angle Podcast. Comment your favorite part of Monday Night Raw in the chat if you haven't already. Tonight's been fun. A lot of things to expect from the Angle Podcast. I will see you when I see you. Thank you for tuning in to the next installment of the Angle's Live Dive, a post-Raw show every Monday night after Monday Night Raw, live right here on YouTube. For now, I'm your host, Joey Karni. Thank you